Welcome to the first installment of r/Maliciouscompliance, where pettiness meets obedience. Before we get started, if you like my videos or just feel like being nice, hit that like button and consider subscribing, as this really helps me out and pushes me to create more videos. Anyways, let's get started with our first story of the day, which was posted by with_trees. My parents forced me to wear a dress, so I did. I'm a trans man and grew up in a very conservative family. As a kid, my parents often forced me to wear dresses and makeup in all sorts of occasions, despite me being extremely uncomfortable with it. The official reasoning was so the neighbors won't talk, but a large portion of it was also you need to look as attractive as possible for arranging marriage, which you have absolutely no interest in. At first, I used to protest it and try to get away with wearing something as toned down and unisex as possible, but eventually it became exhausting and distressing, so screw that. You want me to wear a dress? Fine, I'll wear a dress. The next time I was required to show up in a somewhat formal event, I sure did wear a dress. A black, puffy, Victorian-esque dress. A red corset, dramatic gothic jewelry, heavy black makeup, a full-on show. Oh yeah, the neighbors did talk. OP, why do I suddenly think that you look like Morticia from the Addams Family? Our next story was posted by Siren. Vacation. Use it or lose it? Fine. Malicious compliance coming right up. This is not mine, but my late dad's. He loved telling this story. I've tried typing this story a few times here in the last few months, but couldn't get through it. I am daddy's girl and miss him terribly. He was a brilliant and wickedly clever SOB, and I hope you all enjoy. TLDR at bottom. Backstory. Gary was an electrical engineer currently working for company AW, a damn good one. He was also an extremely dedicated and hardworking employee. He was hired onto an oil and gas company out of college and worked for the same company all his career. He was still employed there when he passed away 7 months ago. The oil and gas industry has ups and downs, and big ones. For the major oil crash in the US back in the 80s, Gary was never one of the employees who was laid off, though 90% of the workforce was. Even when he became sick in the months before his death, he was still getting calls at home and in the hospital from around the world from various company locations, asking for his help and expertise. Gary's company was bought out several times in the numerous decades he worked there. As could be expected, every time the company had new ownership, many of the benefits and company policies changed. This particular malicious compliance concerns vacation and PTO benefits. Gary usually worked at his office facility, although he did travel as needed. About 20 years ago, his company, AW, was once again bought out, this time by an extremely large energy company, DC. The new company started a project almost immediately, and they needed a representative from the AW to help create a customized computer system to integrate AW more seamlessly into DC. Gary was chosen for this project. It required him to work on the project team at corporate, which was in a different state and 4 hours away, every Thursday and Friday. This 15-month project was critical, and at the request of the execs with DC, Gary postponed some travel plans he had had for the year and moved them to the following year to accommodate the project schedule. Being a hard worker and genuinely good guy, Gary drove to corporate extremely early every Thursday, put in more than 10 hours of work with the team, stayed in the company apartment, worked another 10 hours or more on Friday, and would get back home extremely late Friday night after the 4-hour drive. He did not consider the driving as part of his work time and was willing to be a team player. He did have a company car and fuel card, and was also a salary employee in upper management by this point. A few months into the project, DC decided to change the vacation policies for all AW employees. They did not allow any vacation to roll over, and therefore any vacation occurred had to be used or it would be forfeited. Gary had some major worldwide travel plans with his wife scheduled over the next year, some of which he postponed as a favor to DC to help with the project. This had all been pre-approved and signed off by his boss. The change in vacation policy would require him to cancel 2 of the 3 vacations that he had planned, because the new vacation accrual policy meant that he would not have enough vacation time to take them. He currently receives 6 weeks of paid vacation a year, and rollover for 2 years was allowed with AW. Gary contacted his boss. His boss contacted HR and asked for an exception. Denied. Gary contacted the project team lead and explained the situation. The lead then contacted the corporate HR and pleaded Gary's case and asked for an exception due to the circumstances. This was also denied. And here comes the malicious compliance. So Gary then planned out a schedule to use his vacation before the end of the year as dictated by the new DC policy. It was in June, and his weekly schedule for the rest of the year went like this. Monday, vacation. Tuesday, vacation. Wednesday, work at local facility. Thursday, drive 4 hours to corporate, arrive at noon, work 30 minutes, take hour lunch, work 30 minutes, drive 4 hours home. Friday, vacation. Gary turned in the vacation request. His boss, who was pissed that DC was already taking his most valuable employees 2 days a week and now screwing him out of his earned vacation, promptly approved. The following week, Gary started his new work schedule. The local facility immediately began to feel the strain. Jobs began to fall behind schedule without Gary there to support their end. In the first week alone, the local facility lost 3 jobs due to the late delivery of services. The corporate project immediately came to a near halt, with Gary only assisting 1 hour a week. By the second week, the bigwigs became extremely irritated. This was now costing the company some serious revenue. When Gary returned to work on Wednesday of week 2, his boss had a huge grin on his face and told Gary that they are scheduled for a conference call with the executives immediately. On the call, Gary and his boss were both questioned concerning Gary's sparse work schedule. When explained that it was the only way that Gary would be able to use his vacation time that he was being forced to use or otherwise forfeit, the execs brought HR on the phone and grilled them. Needless to say, Gary was given the exception for his vacation time. He was allowed to keep his planned and scheduled vacations for the following year and roll over the time needed to do so. TLDR, new owner of company tried to screw employee out of vacation time. Employee decided to use all vacation as they dictated, leaving company up poop creek. Kendi12 in the comments said it the best. It must be so satisfying to watch your leaders fail without you when you're gone for vacation. I could never understand why employers would give you the ultimatum of either using your vacation time or losing it. Who would choose to opt out of their vacation? It's free money. And if the employee takes vacation, that just affects the overall efficiency of the company. That concludes this episode of r/maliciouscompliance. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe, as this all really helps my channel grow and incentivizes me to create more videos. Also, I'll be posting videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, so make sure you turn on notifications to be notified for my next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.